Hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the inaugural BookTalk episode, where we momentarily set aside our regrets and ink stains to pour a cup of strong coffee and dive into someone else's imagination for a change. I had mentioned this in my intro episode that I will do these segments from time to time where I will talk about a book. Originally, I was just going to pick a book at random and talk about it, but I've decided to change that. And here's what I'd like to do. I'll discuss it further in another episode. I'm going to set it up in such a way where if you are a new author, if you're trying to get your stuff out there, if you're trying to get noticed, I want to hear from you. I want you to send me a message and let me know if you want me to feature your book on my show. I'm not going to make you any promises. It might help you, it might not. The show is still fledgling, so I probably have maybe 2 listeners right now. And both of them are related to me. So we got to start somewhere, right? But like I said, I'm going to talk about a book, introduce it. I'm not going to criticize it. I'm just going to say what it meant to me. I'm not going to give you 5 stars, 0 stars, or any stars. It's just more or less me talking about a book and an author. And in this case, I'm going to stick to my plans, and my first one I'm going to talk about is quite possibly one of the people who got me into writing in the first place, and that's Greg Bear. I mean, before I read his work, I was still writing and scribbling stuff in school and just to amuse my friends. But his book, the one we're going to talk about today, is the one that set me off and realized how much potential there can be in the creativity of a story. And the book we're talking about is Blood Music. Granted, it wasn't his first book, but to me, having read the first 2 books prior to that, I think it's his best. So, imagine you're a brilliant scientist, one of those rare minds that doesn't just push boundaries but redraws them entirely. You've discovered a cure, not just for one thing, but pretty much for everything. For disease, decay, maybe even death itself. The kind of breakthrough that would make Nobel committees weep with joy. And then your company finds out. They panic. They fire you. They demand you destroy your work. So naturally, like any logical-minded person would do, you inject yourself with it. That's the premise of Blood Music. It's Greg Bear's 1985 novel that begins with a single act of scientific defiance and then spirals into something far more profound and unsettling that doesn't just affect the character or the people around him, but goes on to infect the entire world. The protagonist, Vigil Ulam, yes, you can call him the hero, though he's more a cautionary tale than a caped crusader, becomes the unwitting catalyst for a global transformation. What starts as a desperate bid to preserve his research and what he created becomes a sweeping meditation on identity, evolution, and the terrifying beauty of unchecked intelligence. And, in its own way, a form of AI eventually. Bear's narrative dances on the razor's edge between science fiction and science fact, especially today, and especially back then when nanotechnology was just starting to work its roots into the daily vernacular. Intelligent blood cells and a pandemic-like spread of consciousness. These ideas felt speculative back in the 80s. They were just, within reason, they were hearsay, or they're just theory. We did know that there were pandemics, but still. But today, they read like eerie premonitions. The book itself doesn't just ask what if, it asks what now, and what next. If oversight fails and ambition runs amok, especially. It's a story that's both intimate and cosmic, grounded in one man's decision and expanding into something that challenges the very definition of humanity, especially as it gets towards the end of the book. And I'm not going to give you details. You've got to read it. And yes, some elements are dated. This was written in the mid-'80s, after all. But the core ideas remain startlingly relevant. The first time I first read Blood Music when I was in high school, and it wrecked my sleep schedule in the best of ways. I picked it up and I couldn't put it down. My teachers were less impressed with my literary devotion, but I regret nothing. That book opened the floodgates There's other works for me. Eon, Forge of God, Darwin's Radio, all brilliant, all worth your time, especially the ones that are actually series. Eon, the entire series, is epic. I mean, you can get lost in it, and I've read it, the entire series, 3 times now, and it never loses its interest in me. Darwin's Radio is wonderful, and its follow-up books are good too. And again, Forge of God. I can't figure out where he got these ideas because they are so compelling and so thought-provoking. The story's influence rippled beyond the page. A 1999 episode of The Outer Limits, titled The New Breed, even borrowed heavily from Blood Music's concept. It wasn't a direct adaptation, but the thematic DNA was unmistakable. You knew where it came from when you saw the story. Anybody who'd read the book and saw The New Breed knew exactly where it came from. I'd be surprised if Greg Bear didn't at least get a nod in the credits, or a knowing glance from the writer's room. But it's definitely something people will think about. Anybody who's read it, who sees what's going on today, has to get the feels for it. So the final thoughts on it, and again, these are going to be quick. I'm not going to take up too much time. I just want to throw things out there and give you an idea of where I'm going with these segments. So here's my pitch. Read Blood Music. Not just because it's a great story. It is. Or because it's prophetic. And it really is. But also because it challenges you to think about what it means to be not just human, but to be human in an age where our creations might outpace our ethics. And that's kind of scary when you think about it. And when you read it, I'd love to hear what you think about it. Email me at booktalk@inkcoffeeandregrets.com and let me know what you think about it. Eventually I'm going to put up create a Reddit page for myself on this so we can talk about stuff like that there too. When you read it, I'd love to hear what you think. Did it unsettle you? Did it inspire you? Did it make you question your immune system? Did it make you question the next time the doctor says, I have something I'd like to try? Think about it. And once again, thank you for listening. And also, to the email I got from Max, yes, I know, I don't sound great at this yet, but I'm working at it. I'm trying very hard to learn my pacing, my structure, and how to talk to you guys. Because I'm kind of nervous when it comes to this, as you all can probably tell. But give me time. I'm getting there. But again, Max, thank you for pointing it out. And it did fall on welcoming ears. So, folks, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day. And always remember, may your coffee be warm, your ink be flowing, and your regrets be few but well edited. I think I got part of that backwards, but you get the hint.